Forget everything you were taught about isolated ancient empires living in silos. The modern world wasn't built by politicians or treaties, but by a desperate, blood-soaked hunger for silk and gold. These brutal mountain passes didn't just carry cargo, they collapsed geographical distance and birthed our global identity forever. We often imagine the ancient world as a collection of bubbles: China, India, Persia, and Rome, tucked away behind impenetrable borders. But for thousands of years, a 4,000-mile relay race was happening under our noses. It was a high-stakes economy where a single bolt of silk or a vessel of Roman glass was worth more than a human life. This wasn't just trade. It was the blueprint for the globalized supply chains that bring the smartphone to your pocket today. To understand this, you have to picture the reality of the steppe. The Pamir Mountains, the so-called roof of the world, weren't just scenery. They were a graveyard. Merchants risked freezing temperatures and lethal terrain to haul luxury goods across continents. It was a violent necessity. In a landscape governed by warring tribes, gold was the only universal language. And where the caravans stopped to rest, wealth accumulated, giving rise to the world's first true cosmopolitan megacities, hubs that bridged east and west long before the modern era. But the physical cargo was only half the story. The real power of the Silk Road lay in its invisible baggage. As merchants moved, they carried more than gold. They carried the world's first high-speed internet of ideas. Radical religious philosophies, mathematical breakthroughs, and life-altering technologies like gunpowder and paper didn't just appear out of nowhere. They traveled along these same dusty tracks, blending cultures and permanently eroding the concept of the foreigner. However, no empire lasts forever. The route that connected the world eventually faced its own collapse. The fragmentation of the Mongol Empire and the terrifying, uncontrollable spread of the Black Death paralyzed the overland paths. The gold-slicked arteries were severed, and it was this sudden, violent blockage that forced European powers to look toward the horizon. They didn't sail into the Atlantic for glory. They did it because they were desperate to find a new way to satisfy an ancient, unstoppable hunger. Today, we see the echoes of those caravans in the massive infrastructure projects currently reshaping Eurasia. We aren't living in a post-Silk Road world. We are living in its continuation. Our global identity is not a modern invention. It is the legacy of those who first dared to collapse the world's distance, proving that while empires fall, the hunger to connect and to consume remains the most powerful force in human history. We are still traveling the same paths. We are just moving faster,